radar is an acronym for radio detection and ranging. Before radar was invented, militaries had to use gigantic and rather ridiculous-looking headsets to listen for enemy movement.
It was first thought of in the 19th century by the Scottish scientist James Clerk Maxwell. It wasn't until Heinrich Hertz in 1887 discovered that radio waves could go through some substances and bounce off others and be detected.
Later, through 1874 and 1937, Guglielmo Marconi was one of the greatest early contributors of practical radio system and their application. However, it was Christian Holzmier, a German scientist, that built the first practical radar system.
It was designed for ships so they could avoid one another in dense fog, but it could not tell you the range of an object. It could just tell you the direction.
This early radar system had a range of about 3 kilometers. In the middle of World War I, Nikola Tesla proposed that radar could be used to find submerged objects as well as ships.
Every single battle that was fought by Americans, by British troops, radar became a key component.
At that point in time, different countries started to develop radar in secret. In the United States, radar wasn't accepted until 1924.
It was here that radar was first used to detect aircraft, but they still faced the problem that they could only tell in what direction an object was.
Albert H. Taylor, Leo C. Young, and Lawrence A. Hyland started developing pulse radar, which would be able to determine height, range, and speed of an object. In 1936, a demonstration to U.S. officials showed that they could accurately judge these at a range of up to 25 miles, but it required gigantic antennas and was of limited use on ships and moving aircraft.
In 1939, they were able to detect and develop a new antenna that was much smaller and could detect accurately up to 100 miles.
In Britain, in 1935, Robert Watson Watt performed a small-scale demonstration to the British Air Ministry. Immediately after the success of the demonstration, the Air Ministry approved a full-scale demonstration model.
This full-scale system was set up on the coast of the North Sea, and where they successfully detected a submarine Scapa flying boat 17 miles away. They soon rapidly expanded their preliminary radar system by spending £10 million in the summer of 1937.
This radar couldn't have come at a better time for the British, because in World War II, when German pilots were constantly air raiding the British Isles, the British could send their own pilots to intercept.
By late 1938, Britain had constructed a series of these towers all along its coast, from Portsmouth in the south to Scotland in the north. Each tower's transmission range extended to over 100 miles. Together, they formed an invisible shield that no aircraft could penetrate undetected. As the summer of 1940 approached, Goering was poised to unleash the might of his Luftwaffe against Britain. He had over 3,000 aircraft. Britain had just 600 fighters. But as its eyes and ears, the RAF had Watson Watt's chain-home radar screen. Of all the radar stations bombed, just one was temporarily put out of action. Goering was so convinced that Britain did not have radar that he never ordered his bombers to attack the radar masts again. It was to be his greatest blunder and would have enormous consequences for the Battle of Britain. As the battle increased, the hard-pressed Germans were unable to understand where the RAF got their apparently inexhaustible supply of fighters. The reality was that the RAF was fast running out of reserves. Had the Luftwaffe continued to bomb the RAF airfields for just a few more days, the British might have lost the battle. But radar made them appear so much stronger than they actually were.
A variation of radar called Doppler was invented to detect local weather phenomena. It is also used to make sure planes don't fly into hurricanes, tornadoes, and other natural disasters.
The Doppler radar was named after its inventor, Christian Andreas Doppler. When the surrounding area wasn't visible, they used radar to detect and locate things to make sure they didn't unexpectedly crash into unidentified flying objects, whether a German fighter plane or a flock of birds.